Hey y'all, it's been a long time. Um, I keep going back and forth with this whole YouTube thing. I enjoy it, but it takes a lot of time. So, anyway, I'm back. um, do you guys ever have a time where it feels like everything is raining down on you, one thing after the other, and it's just piling up and up and up and up on your back, and you are about to just collapse on the floor and be crushed? I kind of been feeling that way for the past several weeks. And I've really been wanting to just fall out on the floor, be crushed, and not function for a while. But I've got things that keep coming up that force me to keep going, which may be a good thing, but at the same time, I feel like I really need a break. But it first started out with our dryer dying on us, so we thought. Um, so we went to Lowe's, got a new dryer, and all the things that they force you to buy with it. Um, and they came out to, they were supposed to bring the new dryer, take the old dryer, install the new dryer. Well, they come out and they're like, oh, well, we don't have the power cord that you ordered, blah, blah, blah. They'll probably send another guy out to do that. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So they left the new dryer and left, and nobody showed up in the next few hours. So I called Lowe's, and luckily the guy that is the manager over, I guess, deliveries and installations or whatever, was there, and I talked to him. And he's like, well, it looks like on your receipt that you guys carried the power cord out with you. And I'm like, no, we didn't. But I looked at my receipt, and sure enough, it was like everything that we bought was at the top. And then down here with another barcode um, was the cord. And I was like, well, we didn't take it with us. So he got it arranged that somebody would come out the next day with the power cord, install the new one, and take the old one away. And he was very generous. He's very nice. He took, what did he say, 10% off or something? So basically, they were taking the dryer away for free. It kind of took away that $50 fee. Excuse me. Kind of took away the $50 fee. Um, so the next day, they show up about an hour later than they're supposed to. And they get there, and the guy was like, we're not allowed to go in crawl spaces, da 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 da. And I was like, okay, well, the vent that is there is only a couple years old. Just use that vent, not a big deal. Um, so they used that vent, took the old machine out to the truck, plugged in the new one, and it still didn't work. And so now we figure it's an outlet problem because I checked the electric box, and nothing was, none of the switches were flipped or anything. So they start to leave, and I'm like, whoa, wait. Since I didn't need the vent and stuff like that, leave the vent and the clamps here. I can take that back and get my money back. Oh, you still got the receipt? Well, yeah, of course I do. It was a $500 machine. 600, whatever. But anyway, so then we call our electrician. They come out. It's the receptacle. Okay, great. So they go back to the shop to get a new receptacle. Well, they don't have the 3-prong, which is what our dryer power cord is for. So they bring a new receptacle that's a 4-prong plus a new power cord. So, the bill's kind of piling up here. Granted, the Lowe's guy gave us some money back, and we got to take a couple items back, including the power cord, the vent, and the clamps for the vent. We got to take all that back and get some money back, a little bit. And so they got it done, finally got it working. Great. Wonderful. And then, what else happened? My truck found out it had a major oil leak. I was lucky to get home during the Labor Day weekend, because when I checked my oil, it was barely touching the dipstick. So thankfully, I was able to find that. Was smart enough to check my oil, and oh my gosh, if that would have seized up and killed the engine, I don't know what we would have done. But anyway, so we went to take it to get it fixed and left it there overnight. He looked at it the next morning, and I called later that afternoon. He's like, hey, they sent me the wrong seal that it needed or whatever. So they're sending me a new one. And so I didn't know if it meant they were sending a new one later that afternoon or what. So I called that afternoon. He's like, no, 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 they're going to send the new one tomorrow. And I said, well, how much is it going to be? And he said, well, it shouldn't be over $100. I was like, well, good thing for that. So I got prepared, got cash out for that. And called the next day. Actually, I did not call the next day. It was a Friday. I was waiting for him to call me to let me know that it was ready, but I didn't have anybody really to go take me there because my husband was at work. And so we left the truck there all weekend. And I'm like, I need my truck. And so I called Monday, and surprisingly, they answered, but they're closed on Monday. I was like, ah. So finally, I got my truck on Tuesday. It had been there for almost a week because I dropped it off Wednesday prior. So finally, I got my truck back. And then, what else? Oh my gosh, I can't think of everything. Little things here and there. My husband's on a special diet because his cholesterol and blood pressure has been really high. So we're trying to cope with that, and I hate coping with food issues. I've had to do it for a lot of my life. So that was adding more pressure. And then my son got sick with sinus infection, and then eventually I guess it went to his ear, which happens a lot. So he has a middle ear infection. And he's been going to driver's ed, so that's another stressor on there. He's stressed, and then I feel bad for him, which kind of stresses me out. I started doing live shows on Poshmark. Whew, talk about being stressed, because with you guys here on YouTube, I can film myself doing whatever I need to do, and then I can edit out the oopses and the ums and the stuff I decide not to put in there. But when you're doing live shows with Poshmark, you're live in front of however many people show up, and you're trying to sell them stuff, basically. And I'm not a great salesman, to be honest. My first show went really well. My second two that I've done, not so great. I sold a couple things, but not as well as that first one went. But I'll get better at it. There's still a lot of anxiety that builds up before I do those. And then what happened? Oh, I went to the dentist on Monday, and I knew I had one cavity back here because I could see it. I've had it for a few years. It didn't bother me. It still wasn't bothering me, but I figured I'd go get it checked out. Well, they did x-rays. I have 7 cavities, y'all. 7. And they're all between my teeth because why? I didn't floss for many, many, many years of my life. I guess I just kind of fell out of doing that from being a kid. Because I learned really well as a kid that, you're supposed to floss and then brush and then you're supposed to rinse with a mouthwash of some sort. And somewhere along the way, I dropped the flossing and the mouthwash. It's like, oh, I'll just brush my teeth. That's it. Well, I'm paying for it now at age 47. I have 7 cavities. I chose Monday to fill the 3 on this side. There's 1 up here and 2 down here. And oh my word. The last time I had a cavity filled, I think I was in my late 20s. And I don't remember it being so dramatic. Like, this was like, oh my gosh, I have a small mouth. And every time he'd be like, open wider, open please, open, open. And then my tongue kept getting in the way and she couldn't hold my tongue down. And come to find out, he says I have a narrow corridor back here. So now he wants my doctor to test me for sleep apnea. Great. So, of course, when he's got me with my mouth open and then my tongue kind of drops back, or if something touches the back of my throat, I want to swallow. So I'm constantly trying to swallow. Otherwise, I feel like I'm choking. And I think he was really frustrated with me. But if I had $1 for every time he said, open, please, open, please, I probably could have paid my bill with that money earned. But it's still sore. I mean, sitting here trying to talk, it's still sore. It's really tender right here, which is where those 2 teeth are. The upper one doesn't bother me too much. So anyway, I may have screwed up one of the fillings because of my tongue not staying where they needed it to be. So they may have to redo one. And then December 20th, Merry Christmas to me, I've got these 4 over here to have filled. 1 at the top and 3 at the bottom. So That'll be fun. I think I'm going to take painkillers ahead of time. But they're going to use this contraption. She said, next time we're going to use this contraption that holds your mouth open and holds your tongue down. I was like, okay. Hopefully that makes it better, but hopefully it doesn't make it worse. So I got that going on. And then, what else? My husband's at a funeral today. So that was kind of a shock and a surprise. There was a lady in the neighboring town that passed away that was the owner of a store that I really like to go to. And that was sudden. It was weird. Not sure what happened, but anyway. And then we got homeschool co-op starting up again, things like that. It just seems like one thing after the other, and the house is a mess. We went and got a coffee table style that I've been wanting for a long time, where the top comes up so that it's like a regular table. And so we brought that in, but we still have our old coffee table. So the living room's a mess. The kitchen table's a mess. Do you guys have like a catch-all where you come home or you get something and it all goes in the same spot, whether it's a room, a table, whatever? The kitchen table is it for us. You can't see the kitchen table. It's a mess. And I keep looking at it and I'm like, I'm never going to get a grasp on this and get everything cleaned up. So then I just kind of not do anything. But I end up doing something else that needs to be done, but I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's been stressful. It's been crazy. I'm ready for a break. Can't have one until my son's done with driver's ed, which is sometime next week. Hopefully. I mean, he'll still have to drive and do a test, so I don't know if that goes on the next week or what, but that's been kind of life lately. So I'm going to try to get some things cleaned up in the living room. I had a whole bunch of bins out there with Poshmark stuff, clothing mostly. And I did manage to get that cleaned up yesterday and put back out in the shed. I had to bring it all in for when I was doing my live shows. So I got some of that done, but the living room is still atrocious. So I'm going to work on that in a little bit here, and I will show you a little bit about what I do for organization. I really need to start purging. We've been in this house for 2.5 years, and I have not done a serious purge of the whole house since we moved in. So things have just been accumulating. And now I feel really cramped, and I don't like that feeling. So I'm going to have to start doing some purging. So I will start a series of videos on how to purge and organize. And I believe I'm going to also do some videos with fixing jewelry and how I'm doing that, or repurposing it. I'm on the verge of being addicted to some of the jewelry stores on Poshmark, y'all. My favorite one to watch is Cassidy Faith. If you're on Poshmark, go check her out. Her shows are weekday mornings, Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Really great stuff. This is one of the necklaces that I've purchased from her. And there's a couple pieces I'll still purchase, even if it's got like one piece. A necklace that I purchased has a missing piece to it. But I can either replace it or I might redesign it just a little bit. And then there was another necklace that I got that was a little too short for me because the pendant part is really heavy and I don't like it that close to my throat. So I've got an idea on how to repurpose that so I can still wear it. So those videos will be coming up as well. So let's get started with cleaning and organizing, and I'll work on the jewelry videos later as well. And I will bring you along, and maybe you guys will have some ideas that I haven't even thought of with repurposing jewelry, and even with organizing and purging as well. So let's go along for the ride. There's my lovely doggy. Hi, doggy. So, we have been living in this house for 2.5 years, and I have not purged the whole house yet, which is unusual for me. I usually do it twice a year. So it is past time.
which this current little mess right here is not normal. This is Poshmark resale stuff, and that's boxes for Poshmark resale stuff. But one thing that's really bugging me is we got this coffee table about a week and a half ago, and the old one is still here. So, which I love this coffee table. I don't want to get rid of it. I just need to put it away somewhere so that there's not 2 coffee tables in one room. That's too much. So I am going to start with this room and start with the Poshmark stuff I need to photograph and list and get these bins back out in the shed where they belong. There's actually another bin in my son's studio, so I have to get to that as well. But I want to start with this room because it is the first room everybody sees whenever they come in the front door. So this needs to get done.
Okay, so first I'm sorting through clothes that I bought yesterday that I'm keeping, and these are all clothes that I'm selling on Poshmark. So I put them not away, probably not the best way to do it, but I at least put them in the room that I want them in. Okay, so the clothes that I just took out are ones that I'm keeping, and I just put them in my bedroom. I didn't put them away yet because I probably need to clean out my sweater drawer before I put them in there. And then this is Poshmark stuff, which will go in the studio because it still needs to be photographed and then listed. Okay, these items, some need to go into donations, and some I'm keeping for some of my Poshmark shows. Like I'm doing one coming up called the 12 Weeks of Christmas, and it's all going to be stuff that people might want to buy for Christmas gifts. So anything that's more new or new with tags is even better, will be sold there. So something like collector's items, like these Indiana Jones movies, DVDs, I'll probably put those on there, but I think everything else in here can probably be just sent to donations. So I actually need to go through this and take it off of my eBay store to make sure I don't have anything on there that I donate. There are some cookbooks in here. I could possibly try that for my Poshmark show. I don't know how well cookbooks sell. The other thing is books add a lot of weight. And with Poshmark, if it's over 5 pounds, you have to pay more for the label, for the shipping label. So I'm not sure how this one's going to pan out exactly. There's a couple things I know for sure are going to go for donations. So I still have to sort through this. So I'm going to put this back in the studio as well, along with my donation bag, so I can sort through and figure out which one needs to go where. Because right now I'm just focusing on getting the living room looking the way it should. Take away stuff that I know goes somewhere else. Okay, this stuff here has been Poshmark stuff in the past, but it's not been selling. This is stuffed animals. I don't know. Stuffed animals don't do real well. But they're in decent condition. That one's kind of got a hole from our dog, so I probably won't. I think I'm just going to donate all these. Yep. Because nobody's going to want to buy this at Christmas time. Because Halloween will have passed. This I'll have to remove from Poshmark. These I'll have to remove from eBay. But I think I'm going to donate all these. So I'm going to put this with my other donation bag. Okay, this is packaging stuff for Poshmark. I don't know if you guys can see this off camera. Bundles and bundles of boxes and envelopes. For now, I'm going to put this in the studio, which is where I've been packaging things. But I'm hoping to reorganize some closets in the house so that I can keep this stuff in a closet. I've had it in the master bedroom closet for a while, but it's always in the way. Well, it's not in the way. My clothes are in the way. I always have to like pull all my clothes out just to be able to get to my packaging stuff. So I'm going to stick this in the studio for now. Okay. Shoes, I know where these go. They don't need to be out here. Those are the easy items to take care of. The ones where you know they have a place, they're just not where they belong. Okay. This stuff. I think next I'm going to try to get rid of this table. Not this one, the other one. So I just need to clear everything off, which will temporarily junk this table up, but that's okay. Things are falling. Hey, Bubs. So I just got reminded through my email of the other stressor. Student loans are coming back due. My husband and I have both been paying on loans for the last few years, but there's other ones that we have that have been on hold, which has been beautiful. But now they're all coming due. I just got my email saying, hey, you owe $490 next month. Not happening, y'all. So now I got to figure out what to do with that. And my husband needs to figure out what to do with his. Or we'll be drowning in all this. It's such a pain in the butt. Bachelor's degree was freaking not worth it at all. Not worth it. I owe money for something I don't even use. But anyway, so I guess I better get extremely dedicated to this YouTube channel and to selling live on Poshmark. And maybe I need to look at Whatnot. I don't know. Let's finish up this living room, okay? Alright, this has a place, so let's put it in its place. This table, I'm going to dust it off first. Lily, you're going to have to move, girl. I am going to put this table in the master bedroom closet for now. Okay, that is in the bedroom. And I'll put it in the closet in a minute. So, next what I'm going to have to do is go through and figure out where certain things are going to need to go. The homeschool stuff that I had in the other coffee table is going to have to figure out how it can go in this one. There's a little bit of storage underneath. When this comes up, sorry, I'm out of breath. And I just banged on the wood, so now my dog thinks there's somebody here. There's nobody here, girl. Nope. So there's a little bit of storage under this when it lifts up, but not much. And there are some drawers in here. So I'll have to go through all that and figure out where to put it. I'll give you an overview of the living room when I am completely finished. Alright, y'all, I got the living room done. So I went ahead and dusted everything as well, but I picked up all the stuff that's not supposed to be out here. The blankets that stay on the couch are actually being washed right now. So I moved the old coffee table into our bedroom. I'm leaving this box right there because it needs to be there as a reminder that, hey, you have this landscaping project that you need to work on. So, plus it's really heavy, so I just left it there. It's landscape fabric that is actually going to go on the front gardens out there. Because we keep having issues with the grass growing over as we're trying to grow stuff. And so we're going to try to put that landscape fabric out there and make it look really nice. And then this box I've left here, that is a bunch of homeschool books that somebody gave me. I need to go through them, find out what's in there, see if there's anything we can use, and then price out stuff that I'm going to sell and figure out where I'm going to sell it at. Probably eBay. So, but everything is in its place as it should be. I went ahead and vacuumed, I dusted, and I think now I can really relax in the living room tonight and not be overwhelmed with the mess. So I am actually going to put on some good music and go through this box next. And once I have everything listed out, I may go ahead and photograph items to sell. And then this box will need to be moved probably into the studio. I don't want to put it out in the shed because I don't want the books to get warped or anything like that. So, all right, guys, so there you have it. Whenever I have a big mess like this, it works best for me to just focus on one room at a time. Sometimes that means that things from the room you're working on get shifted to another room, but not necessarily put away. And that's okay, because you'll pick another room to do the next day or later on the same day, depending on how much time that you have. I'm taking a break because I'm hot and I was moving furniture. That takes a lot out of you. If it's just a matter of picking a few things up, then I'd probably move on to another room. But anyway, if you got to move some stuff to another room but you don't have a place for it yet, that's fine. A lot of times, purging is what's going to get you to find places for the things that you want to keep. So I might do a purging video next, or I will clean up the kitchen table, and I'll show you why. This, my friends, is my mess of a kitchen table. This is our catch-all. Mail comes in, packages come in, it all gets thrown out here, unfortunately. So yes, we eat in the living room most of the time. unless the table's cleaned off. And right now, it is most definitely not cleaned off. So we've got jewelry that I've received as I am transitioning a little bit more into doing jewelry on Poshmark. I have a flower pot from when I did an arrangement at church that has not been put away. Pieces of the humidifier from when my son was sick that's not been put away. Jewelry displays that I purchased from Facebook that I have not found a place for yet. Water bottles, somehow they always end up on the table. Floral supplies. These are, what are these? See, I've got stuff now, I don't even know what it is. Packaging stuff that probably needs to be put away. Christmas present. Mail, that needs to go. That is stakes for the landscape fabric, which is in the living room. Egg cartons that need to go back to the person that I purchased eggs from. And the bookshelf is actually going to be cut even and used under this table right here. I'm going to make an island. So that's going to go on one side. I'll have to build legs for the other side. And that's honestly waiting on a saw that I need so that I can cut straight. We have a chop saw, but I don't know that it would be very clunky to kind of like flip this thing over and put it on the saw and all this other stuff. I don't know. I need to get started on that at some point. But the main thing is this mess of a table. So, what should I do next? The table or purge something? If I purge something, for me, more than likely, it will be books. Alright, so that's all I have for you on this video. I hope maybe I gave you some ideas, some tips. Again, like I said, if you're cleaning up per room, then you may be putting stuff in other rooms that aren't quite being put away yet, but that's okay. Because eventually you'll get to that room and you'll figure out where that stuff needs to go. You just know it goes in that room. So, anyway, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye!